ladies and gentlemen, we're very happy to see you all again. A warm welcome to the Lanky Beat Show, wherever you may be. Definitely into a big show tonight. We've got lined up Mike Rimmer and John Hughes from Route 66. They're going to be telling us all about their love and life and luxury experiences with their bands of the past. Meanwhile, what we'll do, we'll have a look and see what Sue Raymond's telling us all about.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away, I've got to get away from the pain you drive into the heart of me. The love we share seems to go nowhere, and I've lost my life, for I toss and turn, I can't sleep at night. Once I run to you, now I run from you. This tainted love you give, and I give you all a girl could give you. Take my tears and that's not really all. Tainted love, ooh, tainted love. Now I know I've got to run away, I've got to get away. You don't really want any more from me to make things right. You need someone to hold you tight, and you think love is to pray, but I'm sorry, I don't pray that way. Once I run to you, now I run from you. This tainted love you've given, I give you all a girl could give you. Take my tears and that's not really all. Tainted love, ooh, tainted love. Don't touch me, please, I cannot stand the way you tease. I love you though you hurt me so. Now I'm gonna pack my things and go. Once I run to you, now I run from you. This tainted love you've given, I give you all a girl could give you. Take my tears and that's not really all. Tainted love, ooh, tainted love. Touch you, baby, 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 tainted love.
Yeah, that's Sue Raymond from the Sue Raymond Band. And tonight's lineup, we've got to play for you, that is. We've got Sue Raymond, Ian and the Rebels, and we've got the Top Spots. And each of the three bands that we're going to play tracks from tonight, we have learned that there no longer is, as it were. They no longer exist as bands, which is a very sad thing to have to report. But there you go. Time runs its course, and I'm sure in certain other shapes and forms they'll be back with us. But it is rather sad just to report that particular fact to you all. We're going on to Ian and the Rebels now. You never can tell. This is a track that is a farewell track from Ian of Ian and the Rebels. And that's the first mistake.
It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle. And now the young monsieur and madame have rung the chapel bell. Sell a piece, said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. They furnished off an apartment with a two-room rowboat sail. said the old folks. It goes to show you never can tell. They had a high-five phone, oh boy, did they let it blast. 700 little records, all rock, a rhythm and jazz. But when the sun went down, the tempo of the music fell. Sell a piece, said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. They bought a souped-up Chevy, 'twas a cherry red 53. They drove it down to Orleans to celebrate the anniversary. It was there that Pierre married the mademoiselle. Sell a piece, said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle. And now the young monsieur and madame have rung the chapel bell. Sell a piece, said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. Sell a piece, said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. Sell a piece, said the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell.
And then we'll go straight into the top spots.
He rocks in a teacup all day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on the Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' robin, tweet, rockin' robin, tweet. Oh, rockin' robin, well you really gonna rock tonight. Every little swallow, every chickadee, every little bird on the old oak tree, the wise old owl, the big black cow, flapping them wings, singing go bed, go rockin' robin, rockin' robin, ooh, rockin' robin, well you really gonna rock tonight. A woolly little raven and a bird's first dance taught him how to do the bop and it was grand. He started going steady and I bless my soul. He popped out the buzzard and he audio, rocking the teacup all day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on the Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' robin, rockin' robin, oh, rockin' robin, well you really gonna rock tonight. A woolly little raven on a bird's first dance taught him how to do the bop and it was grand. He started going steady and I bless my soul. He popped out the buzzard and he audio, to rock in the teacup all day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on the Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' robin, rockin' robin, oh, rockin' robin, well you really gonna rock tonight. Oh, rockin' robin, well you really gonna rock tonight. Oh, rockin' mama, we really gonna rock tonight.
Do 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 do. Well, we've got with us tonight, we've got Diane, as usual, driving the system along very ably and capably and putting me in my place at the same time. And what we're going to do next is we're going to play for you the title track that always brings in a Lanky Beat show is called Lanky Panky, very appropriate. And that was a particular tune written and composed and played by a guy called Mitch. And Mitch, Michael Mitchinson is his proper name, but Mitch is, again, he's not well, and he's going and having another oppo shortly, making him strong again, we hope. And so I'm going to wish Mitch all the very best. I'm going to play this particular one for you, Mitch. And really, it couldn't be more appropriate because it's called All Out of Love.
Yesterday and today. Your station, your music, 24 hours a day. Of yesterday and today. This is your station, Wrightington Hospital Radio.
Turn up your radio and tune in that dial. Bill Hart on your radio, you know he's guaranteed to make you smile. Oh.
Well, we've got lined up for you just shortly John Rimmer and, should I say, John Hughes and Mike Rimmer shortly from Route 66. We'll be settling them in and getting their guitars out shortly, and we'll be pushing along very nicely along that front. We've got now I'm a Hog for Your Baby by Rod Shenton. I hope we can get this one right, Diane, don't you?
I'm a hog for you, baby. Can't get enough of your love. I'm a hog for you, baby. Can't get enough of your love. When I go to sleep at night, that's the only thing I'm thinking of. One little piggy went to London. One piggy went to Hong Kong. But this little piggy coming over your house, gonna love you all night long. 'Cause I'm a hog for you, baby. I can't get enough of your love. When I go to sleep at night, that's the only thing I'm thinking of. One little piggy ate a pizza. One piggy ate potato chips. But this little piggy coming over your house, he gonna kiss your sweet, sweet lips. 'Cause I'm a hog for you, baby. I can't get enough of your love. When I go to sleep at night, that's the only thing I'm thinking of. Skin the cat, baby. Woo. To Hong Kong. This little piggy coming over your house, he gonna love you all night long. 'Cause I'm a hog for you, baby. Can't get enough of your love. When I go to sleep at night, that's the only thing I'm thinking of. When I go to sleep at night, that's the only thing I'm thinking of.
Rob Shenton there with his version of I'm a Hog for Your Baby. Rob is from Preston originally, with David John and the Mood and the Strangers and all that particular lot from that particular area. Lives in the London area now, and he's still very active and making CDs and splashing his kind of versions of all sorts of things all over the place. Now then, remembering Harry Prithurch. That's a particular show that's coming up on Sunday, 17th of July, 17th of January. Where am I tonight? 17th of January. He's at the Fort Perch Rock Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock till about 4. That's, should I say 1 till 4? We'll get this right eventually. It's four quid to get in, and the kind of a reminiscence and a kind of commemoration and remembrance of the great Harry Prithurch, who of course was the drummer with the Remo 4, who recently passed away. We wish them all the well and all for all the best on that particular afternoon. Okay, Shaking All Over's coming up by Chimbo's Revival, and I've heard some good news this week that Chimbo is coming back over here from Denmark in July. And he's got a shed full of bookings lined up for the week that he's there. He's coming at Lanky Cats, of course. So we were giving you a little bit more of an update on that pretty soon. But I'm so glad that he's starting to kind of make a little bit of inroads into the northwest of England. He certainly needs he deserves the recognition. He's all over the place on Danish television, but in this country, of course, he's relatively unknown. But if you've ever seen Chimbo's Revival, he's what would you say? He's a Bill Haley lookalike, isn't he, Diane?
He's spot on for Bill Haley. Playing the kiss curl, isn't he?
He has that kiss curl, and he gives it. And one thing that Bill Haley never had was the kind of voice Chimbo's got. I would say that he can operate anywhere between a nice, soft, kind of melodic, and give it some operatic style as well. So he's a pretty good guy, and of course he's bringing over his exceedingly talented musicians with him, and so we're looking forward to see him in and around the Liverpool Southport area when he comes shortly. And this is him, shaking all over.
Shakes all over me. Cribble down the backbone, shakes in the knee bone, tremble in the thigh bone, shaking all over. Good night to me brings the feeling on inside of me. Cribble down the backbone, shakes in the knee bone, tremble in the thigh bone, shaking all over.
Shaking all over, and so am I, because we've got John Hughes lined up now. We're going to talk to John about things about music and things about his recent past, and then we're going to take him right back to his school days and what he was actually thinking about when he before he actually picked up a guitar. Hello, John.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Lanky Beat Show.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming all this way. You brought your friend with you, Mike Rimmer. We'll say hello to Mike as well. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
Now then, just to prove that we're live, that's what we're doing here tonight. Now then, John, like I say, you're tearing the roof off at Lanky Cats at the moment. They can't get enough of you down there. Why do you think that is?
I've got to be careful how to answer that one, Bill. That made me sound very... I don't know. I think we're just a good fun, very lively, entertaining band with a an original sound on an original sound, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, it's great to hear your version of kind of playing a left-handed guitar, and it's not quite. I keep looking and saying, what's wrong with that guitar that it doesn't look right? Is it just because the headstock's the other way around or something like that?
Yeah.
That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah. Tell me about that.
It's a little trick that I got of Joe Bonamassa, not personally, obviously on one of his videos, and it's all to do with keeping the guitar in tune when you're bending the strings. There's less on the treble strings between the tuning peg and the nut. Any guitar players out there will suddenly go, "Oh, I never thought about that." You'll start to see a few more like that.
Right, yeah. And I mean, it certainly enhances your particular performances in that respect. And getting to that stage where you can start to adapt a guitar to suit your playing style, you have a lot of things to do before that. Like first of all, is to pick a guitar up in the first place. So where was it you picked up your first guitar and started to get a tune out of it?
My first guitar was given to me, I'd have been 14 years of age, and it was given to me by a friend's dad, who was going to teach me to play the guitar, and then came back from hospital one day and he'd been told he got motor neuron disease, so it was a bit of a shocker for me, really.
Yeah.
So he very, very quickly gave me a couple of guitar lessons, obviously, because the first things to start go was coordination and things like that. And from there, it was just like a thank you for the guitar, really. Just made me try harder,
Right.
and kept going and kept going and kept going.
And what about your influences at the time? What were you talking about, in terms of influences and being, kind of inspired? Who were the kind of people that were doing that for you?
Initially, believe it or not, it was Bob Dylan and John Denver, which you wouldn't think, where we are now as a band musically, that'd be where it all started
No,
from.
I can't relate that much.
It was John Denver
Yeah.
and Bob Dylan,
Yeah.
It was just magical. Especially John Denver. I couldn't believe that one man could make such a glorious sound on his own.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Absolutely. I concur entirely with with John Denver. Not quite sure about the influence of the Bob Dylan though. It's stretching my imagination a little bit. That is. So what about the Bob Dylan? What kind of bits out of Bob Dylan were happening for you?
His voice is as bad as mine. No, I'm only joking. I think it was his songwriting. He could take folk music and make it bluesy. He could take folk music and make it sound like a rock track. He was just incredible. I mean, if he actually wrote a poetry book, I think it'd have been a #1 seller for forever.
Yeah. I tend to think people like that, of Bob Dylan, being more of a poet than a musician, kind of singer-songwriter, if you like.
Yeah.
And I tend to think of him more of that. And yet he kind of he took poetry into the musical domain, didn't he? In effect, with his songs, are quite poetic. His songs, aren't they? That's why he's so popular and so original, of course. Yeah.
I think that the big thing for me was he was actually brave enough to take folk music, electric, and I know that his career took a bit of a downward spiral for a short spell when he did it.
He upset the purists, didn't he?
Yeah.
The
I like
purists
people
who
like
loved
that.
it.
They're a little bit innovative, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he moved into electric, and they thought he's sold out, didn't he?
Yeah.
He sold out, and we hated him for it. And yet he picked up a whole new band of people and a whole new audience, didn't he?
And suddenly people like Jimi Hendrix, Clapton, Neil Young were recording his stuff, and that was my influence into Bob Dylan, really. It wasn't... It'd be a bit unfair to say Bob Dylan attracted me to Bob Dylan. It was the likes of Jimmy, Neil Young, Eric Clapton that attracted me to Bob Dylan.
Absolutely great. I mean, and to move it on, obviously your influences, you must have then thought about, well, what can I do now? I can play a little bit. What about getting it all together with some other guys and bringing a band together?
Believe this or believe it not, 22, 23 years ago, I put a band together called the Cool Water Band. And Mike, that plays the bass for us in the Route 66 band, was the bass player back then.
Fantastic.
And it was a bit of a country, middle-of-the-road, feely type band, but we were getting gigs. We had a regular slot at a caravan club, and it just progressed from there. And we couldn't understand why we couldn't get a certain sound that people were doing, and every week was a challenge to improve it, and it's just the same now.
Yeah. When you say the caravan club, do you mean the down near Southport? And
It was the
like
Brooklyn
that?
Caravan Park. We were there every fortnight, right the way through the year. It was a great gig.
Yeah. And what was the band called again? What was it?
Cool Water Band.
Cool Water Band. Yeah, fantastic. Well, I think it's brought us up to a nice little point in time where we can play one of your tracks. Tell us a little bit about this CD that you brought in today, should I say?
We were very lucky through Mike, who introduced me to Keith Hubbard. We did a couple of gigs with Keith out in Ormskirk, and we arranged to go into the studio and record this CD. And I thought he made a very, very good job of it myself. We're about to make a new one with obviously the new band members, so it's like the Route 66 band started. We always wanted to make a good CD, never really knew where to start, spoke to Keith, and we went from there really.
Fantastic. Well, let's have a listen to it.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Well, come on, baby, don't you wanna go back to the same old place, my sweet home, Chicago? 2 and 2 are 4, 4 and 2 are 6. I'm traveling, baby, don't you show me no tricks. Hidey, hey, baby, don't you wanna go back to the same old place, my sweet home, Chicago? I'm traveling, baby, don't you be late again. Hidey, hey, baby, don't you wanna go back to the same old place, my sweet home, Chicago? Well, come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Well, come on, baby, don't you wanna go back to the same old place, my sweet home, Chicago?
There's something about live music and there's something about recorded music. Now then, if you can get the recorded side half as much and half as good as the live side, you're absolutely cracking it, and that goes some way towards it. I wouldn't say it goes 100% because there's nothing ever can be as good as live music, because it hits you, doesn't it, in the old gob. It hits you loud and clear in the old gob. So, Mike Cooper. No, sorry, Mike Rimmer. Yeah, dear me, he's off his rocker tonight, I'll tell you. Mike Rimmer, thank you very much for turning up tonight. This is great to see you. Now then, Mike, you're the bass player in Route 66 at the moment. Tell me a little bit about your life with the Route 66.
Well, as John said, we met and played together in a band over 20 years ago. And we've stayed friends, but sort of lost touch. And John invited me along to his 40th birthday a few years ago. I got up and played a few tunes, and when he was looking for a bass player for the current band, he gave me a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we go back up a decent way, John and I.
Yeah. And the current band, the lineup at the current band, is not how I remember it, because when they first turned up, there were 3 of you in the band, and now there are 4, aren't there? So explain what the differences are.
Well, basically, John gave up singing. He was never very good at it anyway. So John's a guitarist. He enjoys his guitar playing and he likes to concentrate on his guitar playing. So getting a singer up front, a dedicated singer, so we could all do our own thing.
So getting a singer in takes a load of weight off John. He can concentrate on his guitar work. You can concentrate on your bass work, and of course you've got an excellent drummer there as well. Yeah, they are really a band I admire greatly, and I know there was a stage where John emailed me once and said, did I fancy standing in? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I fancy standing in. I would have loved to have stood in, but I know I can't get my nose in the door anymore. But that's all it would ever be from me. I would be able to stand in anytime you might want to invite me, but anyway, we'll take that as it comes, and I'll consider that a great honour. I certainly will. So we'll take you back to your childhood days and how you got started, how you got your influences, and things like that. Okay, John.
So I was born in 1950, so my early teenage years were around 1963, when the Beatles were starting to hit on their recording career. I was a bit too young to see the Beatles in the cavern scene and that, but the Liverpool beat era of the mid-60s, that was definitely when I was growing up through music.
Yeah.
I actually saw the Beatles performing in Southport in 1963 at the old Odeon Cinema.
Oh yeah, they did a run, didn't they, of about 4 or 5 nights down there, didn't they? Yeah.
Well, and there was, I think, there was Jerry and the Pacemakers on the bill.
Yeah.
The Foremost.
Yeah.
It's where the Sainsbury's is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they pulled down the old cinema and theatre to build Sainsbury's. But that was my first introduction to live music. And
what an introduction!
Yes, definitely.
Ooh.
And of course, a lot of people were playing in them days. There was a lot of live music. As I say, we got the bands drifting over from Liverpool who were playing at the Floral Hall. So there was loads of venues you could go and see people playing. A friend of mine was knocking around with a local band called the My Checks, and I used to sit in with them, and they taught me a few chords, and got in my very first band when I was 14 in 1964, and then it's just gone on from there, really.
Right, yeah. What was that first band called? Do you remember?
We called them Malibus, because we used to do quite a bit of American beach-style music.
Right. And then progressing further down the line, I mean, we've got a lot of years to fill in now, the gap, as it were.
Thanks for that.
And, kind of what other things have you been doing meanwhile?
Well, from the early days of the bands in the late 60s, I was playing in, sort of semi-prog rock bands, if you like, but people doing Hendrix, Deep Purple, that kind of thing, 67, 68, 69.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine played in a folk and blues duo at the local folk club, and it was a time when folk music was starting to go electric with Steel Eye Span and Fairport Convention.
Yeah. And
he was asking me at work one day, because we worked together, about stuff, and he said, do you fancy joining us as an electric bass player? So I've gravitated from heavy rock into folk and blues, and did that for a few years, and through country and western bands, played in Cayley bands and various other bands on the way through, so a lot of different. Even had a dip into trad jazz at one time, but
yeah, right,
a bit too complicated for me.
Yeah. Well, that's a really colourful style of playing all through the years, and you know, I even played in a Morris Dancers band once. You know, that's my claim to fame. But anyway, it kept kind of denting the roof on the Morris Never mind. That was supposed to be a joke. That's terrible, isn't it? Yeah. So, we've got another track for us to play, and Diane spotted it straight away, and she says, I want you to play this particular track. This is Route 66, and go on, Diane, what's it called?
Wonderful Tonight.
It's late in the evening. She's wondering what clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup, brushes her long blonde hair, and then she asks me, do I look alright? I'll say yes, you look wonderful tonight. We go to a party, and everyone turns to see this beautiful lady is walking around with me, and then she asks me, do you feel alright? I say yes, I feel wonderful tonight. I feel wonderful because I've seen the love light in your eyes, and the wonder of it all is that you don't realize how much I love you. To go home now, I've got an aching head, so I give her the car keys. She helps me to bed, and then I'll tell her as I turn out the light, my darling, you were wonderful tonight. I'll say, my darling, you were wonderful tonight. I'll say, my darling, you were wonderful tonight.
Well, I would say that was cool. Very cool indeed. And we've got more cool for you in a minute, because we're always there and here, and for you at home, for you on the wards, for you in the corridors, for you in the boardroom, the boiler room, the waiting rooms, the wards, all of Wrightington and Wigan hospitals. And we're not forgetting you, because that's what we're here for. And like I said, it was cool. And what we've got now is some live music, because Route 66, John Hughes and Mike Rimmer are going to play us a cool couple of acoustic tracks. I'll take it away, boys.
Come on, pretty baby, let's move it and a groove it. Shake it, baby, please don't lose it. Rhythm that gets into your heart and soul. Route 66 plays some real rock and roll. Come on, everybody, let's get together tonight. Got some money in my jeans, I'm really gonna spend it right. Well, I've been doing my homework all week long. House is empty and the folks are gone. Who cares? Come on, everybody! Well, my baby's number one, but I'm gonna dance with 3 or 4. The house will be shaking when the bare feet are stamping on the floor. Well, when you hear the music, you just can't sit still. Your brother won't rock her, then your sister will. Who cares? Come on, everybody! But we gotta put a guard outside. 'Cause if the folks come home, girl, they're really gonna have a mind. When you hear the music, you just can't sit still. Your brother won't rock you, then your sister will. Who cares? Come on, everybody! Come on, everybody! Come on, everybody!
Hey! Nice. So, that gives you a little warm-up. What else have we got lined up? John?
Theme tune?
Yeah.
Route 66.
Route 66.
Okay.
Sounds appropriate to me.
Well, if you ever plan to motor west, taxi on my way, that's the highway, 'cause there's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles, well, all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Said if you go to St. Louis, down to Missouri, Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty, you'll see. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, down to Flagtown, Arizona, and don't forget Winona, cross on down to San Bernardino, and you get hip with this kind of crap. If you want, let's take the California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Said if you go to St. Louis, down to Missouri, Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty, you'll see. Amarillo, down to Galveston, New Mexico. Well, out of Flagstaff, Arizona, and don't forget Winona. Crossing down to San Bernardino, and you can get hip with this kind of trip. If you want it, take the California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, now get your kicks on Route 66. Well, now get your kicks on Route 66.
Thank you very much, boys. That's great stuff. I mean, what I'm going to do now is take you back now to what we briefly touched on before, and that was you've got in a new singer to take off the vocals from you, John. What are your plans for the future? What you said also we were talking about getting things tighter as well, and we think, Diane and I, of course, we think you're very tight at the moment, but you said you're not quite there yet. But so what's your plans for your future?
The plans really are to put a bit of a tighter show together. I really take the compliments of we're a tight band as we are, but you can always be better, you can always improve, you can improve your sound, your look. I think it's a better outfit now with the front man.
Yeah.
I can sing a bit, I can do backing vocals, I can hold a tune, but to be a frontman's a whole different discipline, and to engage with the audience, as well as running the band, running the music side of things. My strengths really, I don't know if Michael agree with this, sorting out arrangements, little tiny differences on what are already great tunes to make them our own.
Yeah.
And I need a frontman to take the pressure off me while I'm doing the rest, really.
And, obviously your frontman's got a name. What's his name?
Darren Lee.
Darren Lee. And your drummer's name?
Frank Hayes.
Right. So Darren and Frank, if you're listening, we're saying hello.
Hello, guys. Pity we couldn't fit you in.
Yeah, I know we're very tight here, but so what? So your plans are you're going to go in and do a new CD?
Yeah, we've got studio time booked in April.
Right. And what kind of things are going on the new CD?
It's a little bit hush-hush at the minute because we've got quite a bit of new material that we're working on.
What about your own material? Have you got that kind of stuff to bring in?
Yeah, to be honest, when you say our own, do you mean stuff that we've written ourselves?
Yeah.
No, it's something I never intended to do. I've played in a few bands. I've played with some. I'm not going to start name dropping. Some pretty good stars, really. I've had a great time. I just want to play. I don't want to go through the rigmarole of trying to get my own stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard work, and the live music scene is very tough at the minute. There's
absolutely
trying to get gigs. It's more important to me to do a good job on some great tunes that have been out there for years that get overlooked.
Yeah, definitely. There's material out there for it's like infinite, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's already out there, and the big complaint, if it were, that at the moment, the material and the acts behind the material that are being flogged to death, on TV and the like, and I won't mention any names, is not a patch on the stuff that you're talking about.
Exactly. It's come quite synonymous with the band now. Our closing number, it's about to be moved from our closing number to closing the first set, is Purple Rain, which everybody knows, late 80s, mid 80s I should say to late 80s, was a massively electrified, produced track.
Yeah.
We're doing it with 3 instruments.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we do a good job. We've changed it. Everybody still likes it, and it's things like that which I do best. Really, taking a number like that and working out how we can do it as a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, 3 instruments in a band, you have to work hard for each other.
Oh.
4 instruments in a band, I think you can relax a tiny touch, can't you? But certainly when it comes to 3 instruments, drums, guitar, bass guitar, working the system. I mean, I think the masters of doing that were The Who.
Oh, The Who was superb.
And the Police.
Oh, the Police were an awesome band.
And that kind of lineup, and that's what you've got. You've got that lineup now, haven't you? That kind of lineup.
Definitely.
With a head-on lead singer, and who can engage, like you say. He's certainly going to get. He's got the charisma. He's got the front. I don't know where you found him, but by goodness
to be honest, he found us. It was by pure chance.
Yeah. So fantastic. Now, you did mention Purple Rain. Then, any chance of finishing off with Purple Rain at the moment, or what?
Yeah, we can do a cut down version because our stage versions are nearly a quarter of an hour long.
We've got 3 minutes, and then we'll have to kind of wind it down. But
no problem. We can do a couple of verses and take it out, can't we?
Fantastic.
Remind me what key it's in.
Chubby.
That's a typical bass guitarist, isn't it? What keys? Yeah.
Never meant to cause you any trouble. I never meant to cause you any pain. Only want a wild time, see you laughing. I only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. I only want to see you bathing in that purple rain. I never want to be your weekend lover. I only want to be your friend. I could never steal you from another. You know it's such a shame our friendship has to end. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. And I only want to see you bathing in that purple rain. Bye.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Sorry.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we've got time for tonight. Diane, my able-bodied,
Excellent.
absolutely, my able-bodied producer, as usual, knocking me into shape, telling me off here and there because not speaking into the microphones properly. John Hughes, thank you very much. Mike Rimmer, thank you very much.
No
Thank
problem
you,
at all.
pleasure.
And we'll see you all again pretty soon. Bye, bye.